What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through how I went about building the tubs that you see over my left shoulder. So those of you who've been following my channel for a while know that I only do vivariums, I only use Exoterra tanks, so why in the world am I going for tubs? Well, the reason is pretty soon I'll be moving out of my house into an apartment where it's not going to exactly be practical or spacious enough to put in a bunch of big Exoterra tanks. So I'm going to kind of have to make the switch to a more functional, smaller form factor, practical type of terrarium setup for all my animals. And while a plastic tub is not exactly pretty to the eye, especially when in comparison to an Exoterra or even a 10 or 20 gallon tank, you can still get tons of usage out of it and it can still be great beneficial for your animal. Obviously you're going to see them in more detail as I'm building them, but as you can see over my shoulder, they stack up incredibly well, which means that they take up very little space, which is a huge perk when you're trying to put them in a smaller area. But in today's video, I'm just going to be building the tubs. In a future video, I'm going to be actually setting them up, and who doesn't love a setup video? That's the most fun part. But today we're going to be doing some building, which is just as fun. I'm going to make sure to leave the specific links to what kind of tubs I'm using here, because the Crested Gecko and the Gargoyle Gecko tub I made for Frito and Comment, they're not exactly readily available in like Walmart or Target or any kind of superstore like that. I had to order them offline, so I'll make sure to leave you guys a link. And I'll also leave you a link to access the big tub for Titan, but I was able to find it at a Walmart. So before we get into the actual building process, I want to remind you guys to check out the description below. There you will find my Linktree address, and on that Linktree address you'll be able to access my Etsy store, my Pinterest account, my art Instagram page, my art portfolio page, and a link to my YouTube, which if you're on this video, I'm assuming you've already found. So guys, if the feeling hits you, go ahead and check out that link in the description. It would mean the world to me. And also, we've got some excellent, great news. You can finally comment on my videos. After, I think, maybe a year and a half, or maybe even 2 years of no comments whatsoever, people can finally comment on my videos. And that just means the world to me because I just love hearing from everybody. And I also like answering your questions. So if you have a question about how I built this tub or anything under the sun, because I haven't heard from you guys in about a year and a half, just go down to the description below and leave me a comment or a question. Along with commenting, make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Without further delay, guys, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay guys, so you're gonna need something to cut the plastic, obviously. So in this case, I decided to use an X-Acto knife. You'll need some screen for the ventilation holes. You'll need a marker to make and draw your templates. And you're going to need a ruler for straight line cutting, drawing, and template making. You'll need some scissors to cut your screen. And obviously you'll need your tub. In this situation, I decided to go with the 108 quart tub for my Leachianus Gecko Titan. It's a really tall tub, as you can see here, which will be super fitting for the arboreal lifestyle of Leachianus Gecko. And where I'll be making the ventilation holes are on the lid of this tub. As you can see here, I drew out a little template here where I'll be cutting out the ventilation holes. So it's time to go ahead and get out your X-Acto knife and get to cutting. So it actually cut very clean. I was very impressed. It was a lot easier than I anticipated. Granted, my blade was pretty sharp, but still it kind of cut through it just like butter. Everything was pretty smooth. There was very few plastic imperfections on the cut. So now it's time to go ahead and get the screen in place on your lid. The best way to do this, in my opinion, is to get out the piece that you just cut out to use as a template for the size of the amount of screen you'll be using. And once you get the appropriate amount of screen cut out, all you'll be doing is hot gluing it from the inside of the lid to the lid itself. And this is a view of the screen once it's been glued in place from the outside. It looks very clean, it's pretty taut, it's sturdy, hopefully leachy proof. It looks really good from the outside. From the inside, it does not look very good, but no one's going to be seeing that except for your gecko, and I really doubt they have a preference. What's most important is that it's durable, and as you can see here, I'm kind of testing it for its durability, and so far I'm pretty impressed. Here's the completed tub. I went ahead and did the other ventilation hole off camera to decrease redundancy. And it looks pretty clean and symmetrical and fairly identical to the one that I made before it. As you can see here, this is the finished lid in all of its glory, and the other side of the lid in all of its glory. Here's a couple more views of the completed lid in case you need a closer look. And it's time to go ahead and make our Crested Gecko and Gargoyle Gecko tub. I'll leave the dimensions in the description as well as a link to the website where I purchased it, and I'll probably include a graphic that states the size of this tub. So what I'm going to be doing is cutting out a 6-inch hole. As you can see here, I drew this template which basically allowed me to center a 6 by 6 inch square in what I consider the front of the tub. And I went ahead and cut it out. I did not do a fantastic job. It wasn't terrible. But as you can see, I didn't have super straight cuts and there was a little bit of plastic left off, but I've got a little trick that solved that right quick. I simply just used the X-Acto blade as a piece of sandpaper. Just kind of trimmed away at those little pieces of plastic. Now it's time to go ahead and add screen to the inside of the tub. And voila, we're finished. This is all the tubs completed, put next to each other. As you can see, it does not take up much space whatsoever width-wise, which is what I was looking for. I'm going for functionality, portability, and ease of cleaning over aesthetic beauty. None of these tubs are ever going to look as good as an Exoterra tank, but you will get just as much use out of them as you would an Exoterra. So all in all, fairly pleased with the output of this project. Alright everybody, that's going to wrap it up for today. Overall, I had an excellent time setting up these tubs. I'm really excited to do an actual setup video where I'll be furnishing it with, cage ornaments and hides and sticks and all kinds of stuff. I will be making a video on that, so be looking forward to that. But like I said earlier in the video, make sure to go down to the description to visit my Linktree address, and there's also going to be links to the actual tubs that I used in the video. Alright guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope every single one of you has a great day. I'll see y'all in the next one.